Hey there guys, it is Natural Nadine here and I'm back. Today's video guys is gonna be straight hair mistakes to avoid. I made these mistakes so that you don't have to. I've learned a few things, a little tricks up my sleeve in this time being a straight hair natural, and I feel like I want to share with you a few of the mistakes that I've made so that you don't have to make these mistakes. So thing number one, is that what we're going to be calling these things? Don't overdo it with the heat, okay? And now there's two parts to this, right? The first part, which I really want to speak to my straight hair sisters on this, you don't need to straighten your hair every week. There were times where I would be like, oh, I'm going out, let me just top up my roots. Let me just add a little curl here and there, let me just do a little something. And before you know it, in like the space of like 3 weeks, a straightener has touched my hair 4 or 5 times, which is like just overly excessive. The key to making sure that you don't lead up to loads of breakage is to not overdo it with the heat. Learn to maintain your style for as long as possible. Train your hair to maintain your style for as long as possible. The odd occasion of touching up your hair, touching up your root, it's okay, but it can't become a regular habit that every time you're stepping out the house you're thinking. That was the first part. The second part is don't overdo it with the temperature of the heat that you are using. If you guys haven't watched my video on the science behind heat damage, I strongly suggest you watch that because it really opened my eyes, and I think as well some of you guys who watched it found it really helpful to see how different temperatures affect your hair. And using those consistently high temperatures, those 200+ degrees Celsius, 400+ degrees Fahrenheit, is really damaging over time. Now, if you are somebody who doesn't straighten your hair that often and you want to get that bone straight silk press the once or twice a year you do it, fine, whack it on the highest heat setting. But if you're somebody who's going to be straightening your hair bi-weekly or even like monthly and just continuously doing silk presses, you're straightening your hair more than 15, 20, 30 times a year, you gotta lower that heat setting. Because over time, as you train your hair anyways, you don't need to use the highest setting every single time. Especially if your hair becomes heat trained or even heat damaged, you can really lower that temperature setting and still get a really good straight hair silk press. Well, the temperature you use also depends on how thick your hair is. I would say my hair is quite fine. I have quite fine hair strands. I don't have like a high density. I feel like my hair is just like a normal hair density. It's not thin, but I don't have overly thick hair, so I don't need to use like the hottest heat setting to get my hair straight. Very much base the temperature setting of your hair based on your hair. Don't watch a video of somebody saying I'm going to use the hottest setting because they have thick hair and then automatically do what they're doing if your hair's not like that. The heat protectant that I use goes up to 230 degrees Celsius, which is like 450 I think Fahrenheit. I was putting my temperature up to 230 because I said, oh, it says up to 230, so let me put it on 230, which is crazy because it's like I'm really testing my heat protectant to the absolute max and pushing it to its limit. And as well, depending on the type of tools you have, whether or not it's able to maintain that 230 degrees heat that you're putting on, it could actually be potentially hotter in some places and colder in some places. So you might end up with like hot spots as well, depending on how good your straighteners are. The higher end straighteners are a little bit better at maintaining a uniform heat and sticking to the heat that they say they are. But some of the other not as high end straighteners that don't have as many probes that regulate the temperature, if you put it to a certain temperature, you can expect that in other places it will be hotter than what it says it is on the tin, ever so slightly, but it makes a difference. Second thing is to avoid is not trimming your ends. When I was a curly haired babe, I would trim my hair twice a year. That was fine for me because I wasn't doing anything crazy to my hair for my ends to split or for my hair to become, or my ends to become in bad shape. Now I straighten my hair every like 2 to 3 weeks. Oh yeah, these ends need a trim. If you want to be retaining length as well as a straight haired natural, don't be scared to trim. I want to make sure that my ends are full. I don't care to have little straggly scrape pieces that are a little bit longer than the rest of my hair. Not bothered about that, because what that means is that my split ends are not going to end up traveling too far up the hair shaft and leading to me needing a cut. There's a difference between a haircut and a hair trim. A trim will literally be just like dusting off the ends, just taking off the ends. That makes it so you don't end up having to cut large amounts of hair due to split ends traveling up the hair shaft. So trimming your hair often is absolute key as a straight haired natural. As a curly hair, you can get away with not doing it Straight hair, take it from me, guys. I've been for a trim twice in 16 weeks, so every 8 weeks is roughly how I've been for a trim, and every time I've not had to cut off a ridiculous amount. It's just been a little bit, and I can still visibly see the length. My hair is not the same length that it was when I first started my straight hair journey. This is me in July, this is me in September, and there's 2 trims in between that, so you can still visibly see the length of your hair growing even if you're trimming often, because like I said, trim doesn't equal haircut. The next thing, guys, is don't straighten your hair when it's damp or wet. I've seen videos where they're like, okay, I wait till my hair's like 90% dry, then I just go and straighten it. Don't do that. Straightening your hair when it's wet is a big no-no. You're frying your hair, and 9 times out of 10 you probably won't even get the result that you want, because the heat that you're applying is just removing water from your hair. It's not actually going towards straightening your hair, it's more like frying it. And don't just wait until your hair is 100% dry. The next thing, guys, is don't negate heat protectant, okay? And I'm saying this so strongly. Before you're about to blow dry, heat protectant. Between blow drying and straightening, heat protectant. Between straightening and curling, heat protectant, okay? Always before you apply any form of heat to your hair, heat protectant. Even if you've just applied a heat protectant before you blow dry, apply it again before you straighten. There's no harm in overdoing it with the heat protectant, okay? Like, within reason, obviously. If that's what you need to do to make sure that every strand is fully covered and protected from that heat, then do it. Heat protectant makes such a massive difference. You know what, I absolutely love those videos where it shows the no heat protectant versus like different types of heat protectant and how much of an effect you can see it makes. The thing about using heat protectant religiously is that you'll have more longevity in your hair because you're not frying your hair. So over time, as you're consistently straightening, if you're always using heat protectant and you're always using a reasonable heat, there's not much reason that you should see that your hair turns frail and brittle and dry. If you're following a good method of using your heat protectant religiously, using a sensible amount of heat on your hair, and then trimming dead ends as soon as they start to form by trimming your hair often, there should be no real way that your hair gets into a really bad state. Those are the key recipes to being able to maintain healthy straight hair. What number are we on? Oh my gosh. The next one is one that I really hope everybody is listening to me when I say this. Don't overdo the dry shampoo. This is something that I learned very quickly. If you guys watched, I think, my nighttime routine, how I preserve my hair, in the start of the first few videos, you guys saw that I was using dry shampoo heavily. I was going through like a bottle a week. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe I'm saying this right now. It dries your hair so much and your scalp don't need it. Once a week at the most should be enough to help you to maintain your style. If you are finding that you're needing more dry shampoo, try to lessen the amount of oils you're putting on your hair, and try to address how you're brushing your hair as well, and how you're styling your hair, and seeing if any of those things have an effect on the increased greasiness of your hair. The next thing, guys, is don't underestimate how you sleep can affect the longevity of your style. You can have a silk press that literally lasts you 1 week, and you can have one that will last you 4 weeks or even longer, depending on how you sleep. If you sleep wayward, if you sleep not even wrapping, not even tying it up on a cotton pillowcase, that is scary. Your silk press, your straight hair is not going to last for very long. If you maintain your hair at night really well, you can wake up with fresh hair. And I've even found that even when it's raining outside, even when I've been working out, as soon as I've wrapped my hair really good at night, put my bonnet on and put whatever it is that I'm putting on, after I've done that, I feel like I wake up with brand new hair. Even if it rained a little bit yesterday, even if I sweated a little bit yesterday, that wrap is like a reset. Take advantage of those resets to maintain your hair's freshness. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all of the mistakes to avoid on straight natural hair. I hope those are the ones that I've learned so far. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more that I'm going to be learning as I go along. But I felt compelled to share with you guys what I've already learned so far. And yeah. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.